What's up, guys? Matt Brown here for Lions.com, playpicks.com, and we're going to talk the Week 18 market rundown. Guys, it's Week 18, the final week of the regular season. I can't believe it's already here. It is painful. It is making me sad, but we still have a month of the season with the playoffs and the Super Bowl, so I'm not going to cry just yet. Let's kick things off here on Saturday. 2 games on Saturday, and it's the Chiefs, Broncos, Cowboys, Eagles. The interesting thing about this, guys, is so Broncos, nothing to play for, and then the Chiefs, in theory, could get the number 1 seed. Now, of course, the Titans would have to, and you could see as we scroll down here, the Titans, big double-digit favorites, would have to lose to the Texans. But in theory, they are still alive for the 1 seed. It does make you wonder about their motivation. It does make you wonder about how long the starters are going to play. I mean, at the end of the day, no Kelsey, no Mahomes, no Tyreek Hill equals this Kansas City Chiefs team is buried in the playoffs. And so you wonder if Andy Reid is going to be chasing the very slim chance that the Texans beat the Titans, or if he's going to rest starters here. So this one, really interesting. We're going to pay attention to throughout the course of the week. Same thing here. Whenever you look at the Cowboys and the Eagles, both teams in the playoffs already, nothing really to play for. The Eagles have already talked about that they're thinking about resting players. Again, if you listen to the podcast form of this, the Chiefs 10-point favorites over the Broncos, 40 and a half. If you're listening to this, Cowboys are 7-point favorites against the Eagles. Again, both teams have made the playoffs. And really, there's nothing to play for either one of these teams. And so the motivation factor is something that's going to be really, really interesting here that we're going to have to pay attention to. So we'll try to monitor this throughout the course of the week. But you have to wonder, is it worth the Cowboys trotting out starters here after they already lost Michael Gallup this past week as well, one of their starting wide receivers. So we'll pay attention to that. Now, we get over here to Sunday. Another very, very outside chance. A very, very outside chance that the Bengals could be the number 1 overall seed. It is super, super highly unlikely. So what you see right now is you find them at one book, the Browns are favored over them by a point. Another book, Browns are favored by 1.5. Other books have the Bengals 2.5 point favorites. The reason for the disagreement here is, what's the motivation to play starters for Cincinnati? The answer is pretty much nothing. Also, you saw Joe Burrow get hit at the end of the game this past week and come up a little bit lame. You got to think that they're probably going to be sitting Joe Burrow in this game, but nothing has been official quite yet. This is another reason why this game completely unbettable right now. Packers and the Lions. The Packers are 2.5 point road favorites over the Lions, a total of 43.5 for 44. The Packers are locked into the number 1 overall seed. So they cannot go anywhere. That said, the reason you still see this, and it's a very short favorite where they would be double-digit favorites in this game, but it's still a very short favorite, is because Aaron Rodgers has said that he wants to play in this game. Now, will cooler heads prevail and Aaron Rodgers ends up sitting this game? Because again, he's as important. He's the MVP of the league. He's as important to this Packers team as any player in the NFL. So you do wonder if cooler heads prevail here, but that's why we see this line. It's still in favor of the Packers. They have not said they're going to sit their starters, despite the fact they have the number 1 seed overall locked up. 44, your total there. Bears and the Vikings. This is the battle of nothing to play for. Absolutely nothing to play for either one of these teams. So we see a short favorite in favor of the Vikings here. 44.5 is the total. You can try and figure out some narratives here if you want to. You can try and figure out what the motivation of either one of these teams would be. The Vikings, one of the most disappointing teams in all the NFL this year. The Bears trying to kind of rally here late season. There's all of that going on, but it's a very confusing game to try and bet. Another game with absolutely nothing to play for, no playoff considerations whatsoever, is Washington and the Giants. The Washington is 6.5 point road favorites over the Giants, 38.5. The Giants just have no players. If you watch this past week, none of the receivers are suiting up. Mike Glennon's absolutely terrible. It's a complete mess, complete wreck there for the Giants. That said, Washington hasn't really looked that great either the last couple of weeks. This is why you see them the favorite that they are in this game. Maybe you play them in some sort of money line parlay or something like that. I don't know if I want to lay 6.5, but certainly Washington coming in as the better team and certainly the better form of the two teams, even though they haven't been playing all that great. Colts are 15-point road favorites over the Jacksonville Jaguars. The total is 44. This is because the Colts need to win this game, stay in the playoffs. So, I mean, look, again, 2 touchdown favorites over the Jags. However unlikely it is that the Jags will pull an upset over the Colts, which could open the door here, for some other teams or something like that. But again, two touchdown favorites here for the Colts with all the motivation in the world against what I have now as the lowest ranked power rated team in the NFL in the Jacksonville Jaguars. Pittsburgh Steelers and Baltimore Ravens. Ravens are 3.5 to 4.5 point home favorites over the Steelers. Now, listen, there is a very, 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 very outside chance that the Steelers could still make the playoffs. It is super highly unlikely. That said, they do have something to play for because there is a chance that they could get in, however unlikely it is. So you are certainly going to get the best effort from the Steelers team. There's not going to be any starters sitting. There's not going to be anything like that going on in this. Same deal with the Ravens. Super, super convoluted outside chance of them getting in. So you're going to get the best effort from both of these teams. Don't know if we're going to see Lamar Jackson or not. Harbaugh has come out and said that he is hopeful that Lamar Jackson's able to go. Tennessee Titans, as I mentioned, they are the number 1 seed right now in the AFC. And what we've got right now is a 10.5 point favorite on the road against the Texans with, again, the number 1 seed to play for. If they were to lose this and the Chiefs were to win, then the Chiefs jump back into the number 1 seed. So this is a hugely, hugely important game. All the motivation in the world for the Titans. And of course, the Texans have absolutely none, sitting at 43.5 is your total. Saints and the Falcons. Oddly enough, the Saints, as bad as they have been this year, as pathetic as that offense has been this year, they find themselves as 4.5 point road favorites over the Falcons with a chance to get in the playoffs. Yes, you heard that correctly. The Saints have a chance to get in the playoffs if everything were to break their way. Unbelievable that this team has gone through what they've gone through and are still in a spot to get into the playoffs here again. 4.5 point road favorites over the Falcons, who have absolutely nothing to play for. A total of 40. Jets and the Bills. The Bills need to win in order to win the AFC East. With that, you find them as 16.5 to 17 point home favorites over the Jets. Total of 42.5, 43.5 in this thing. I mean, look, do the Bills cover? I mean, they're going to win. Do the Bills cover? That's something you just got to try and figure out here. Spread is so high at 17 at this point. But again, they need to win the AFC East. Patriots and the Dolphins, they're playing at the same time as the Bills because the Patriots, again, they could win the AFC East if for whatever reason the Bills were to get upset by the Jets. So the Patriots will be giving an all-out effort here. Now, they might be scoreboard watching. If the Bills get up 4 touchdowns in the third quarter, then maybe some starters start sitting and things like that. Might be some scoreboard watching going on there. But as we sit right now, it would be a 7-point road favorite as the Patriots over the Miami Dolphins, a total of 40 with something to play for in this game. Carolina Panthers and Tampa Bay Bucks. Not a ton here for the Bucks. I mean, this is a seeding type thing. They're going to make the playoffs. They are 8-point home favorites over the Carolina Panthers, a total of 41.5 to 42.5. This is really just, what do the Bucks want to do here? Do you want to rest Tom Brady? Do you want to make sure that you have all your receivers? Because again, now that Antonio Brown's gone, Mike Evans is it, right? And so he's been dealing with a hamstring injury as it is anyway. Do you really want to even test that? There's a whole bunch here that Bruce Arians is going to have to try and weigh in his head as to what he wants to do with this Bucks team. 49ers and the Rams. 49ers got to win and to get in. So this is a huge, huge game. The Rams got to win the NFC West. The NFC West. So huge, huge, huge important game here. 49ers find themselves as 5-point road underdogs. Actually, there's 4, 4.5, and 5 in favor of the Rams at home against the 49ers in this game. What we don't know right now is who's going to play quarterback for the 49ers. Trey Lance played this past week. Trey Lance did all right. He started out pretty rough, but then he righted the ship. He actually did all right. And so with that, we still don't know if it's going to be Jimmy G or if it's going to be Jimmy, or if it's going to be Trey Lance in this thing. So we sit right now anywhere from 4 to 5 point favorites for the Rams. And again, they have a ton to play for to go ahead and clinch up the NFC West. The Seahawks and the Cardinals could win the NFC West if the Rams were to lose. So this is a game that, of course, the Cardinals will be given effort. Maybe some scoreboard watching going on. Maybe as we get a little bit later in the game, if the Rams are winning, a ton, then you could see the Cardinals start to put some guys on the bench. But you're certainly at least going to get a first good effort out of them against a Seattle Seahawks team that actually showed some signs of life on the offensive side of the ball last week. Again, the Cardinals sitting 6.5 to 7 point home favorites, a total of 48 in this one against the Seahawks. And finally, of course, no Monday game this week. Sunday night, this is for all the marbles. The Chargers and the Raiders. The Chargers are 2.5 to 3 point road favorites over the Raiders. Win and you're in with the Chargers and the Raiders. Either one of these teams wins. There is a weird scenario where if they tied, if some other stuff happened and they were to tie, that they could both get in and all that. But let's not even get into that scenario. Let's just look at it from win and you're in. Chargers and Raiders, Sunday night football. 2.5 point favorites are the Chargers over the Raiders, 49.5. This is the only game that outside of that Rams 49ers where there is, 100% effort the whole game, no matter what, from at least, a couple of these, at least, the teams, right? I mean, the 49ers have to win to get in. The Rams need to win in order to win the NFC West. And then the Chargers and Raiders are both playing for playoff spots, where both teams have something to play for. Nothing to play for Seattle, right? I mean, yes, we know the Cardinals have something to play for, but nothing for Seattle. But we do know Chargers, Raiders, 49ers, Rams, there is motivation for both of those teams for sure. And there's going to be, this is going to be an awesome Sunday night game here. Winning you're in, Chargers, Raiders. I favor the Chargers here. I think they're the better team top to bottom. That said, the Raiders team continues to just defy the odds out there. Anywhere from 48.5 to 49.5 is your total in that one. Guys, we will try to monitor everything that's going on throughout the course of the week. Any bit of news that we get that may or may not lead to, you wanting to make a bet or fade a game or whatever it might be. Right here, Discord, upper right-hand corner at the lines, jump in there. We'll be discussing all week in there, different scenarios and things that are going on. And of course, everything's absolutely free. So if you are listening to us, go ahead and hit us up. Subscribe, rate, and review, really do. And if you're watching us on YouTube, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Do appreciate it. Thumbs up, and then let us know in the comment section. Which of these lines, which of these games are you willing to pull the trigger on this week in NFL Week 18? Good luck on all your bets.